Allegedly, hypothetically in Minecraft. Oh, because that's her full government name. Why is everyone being subtweeted? Forget jump scares. The real horror is being doxxed with your classmates. Poor sweet Azami. Hello, friends and gamers. I can't say happy Halloween yet. As you can see, we are going to be diving back into Urban Myth Dissolution Center. This is going to be our second video with it. We will not be finishing the game today, but this game is on my backlog. And what better time to record one of those backlog videos? The spooky month. So we're gonna get back into this one. I thought this was a good way to dip our toes into it. I don't really remember where we were at, but we're gonna play for like an hour-ish, you know, the rules here. And get on with it. We got head pumpkin. But let's get started and load my game. Oh, okay, so it just immediately plays it. Okay, all right. So this is Jasmine. Forgot Jasmine. Got a message from the creepy boss man guy. All right. We should start from Aiko-san's account. Already on it. All right. First thing, let's check what happened to Mio and Aiko. I think, did Aiko get jumped at the end of the last video? I don't fully remember, but she might have. Also, why they're being flamed again. So go for it. This is Azami, our essentially player character. We're playing as Azami. She says, understood. And here we go. We have to look through all of this stuff. I think also, I thought my sound was my music was a bit loud, personally. All right. I don't remember if we went through all of the text messages and stuff this time in the last video, so we'll do it again. So we need to check on post flaming Aiko-san, so like roasting her, and then same thing with Mio. So we do have this one. Aiko was, I think, a little bit older technically. She was like a social media consultant or something weird. And then Mio is our friend. So Mio was attacked again. I want the police to formally launch an investigation, and those of you taking the opportunity to snoop on our personal lives, get one of your own, she writes. Oh my God. All right, well, this is probably gonna give us all we need. This first comment says, you call it your personal life while posting it on the internet for all to see, LOL. This is definitely one of them. Jasmine says, she's been doxxed, so less to hide. Also, don't dox people, that's wrong, don't do that. Azami says, does this mean she's safe at least? Also, I feel like I gave everyone voices last time, but I don't remember them. I hope Mio's okay. So there's one flaming the police, one about yoga. Is Aiko that Aiko? She's still pulling stunts like this. Oh, I guess EI would be Aiko. Okay. Desperate to stay relevant, I guess. So this is definitely one of them as well. I forget who Aiko was, but Azami, yes, that same thing. Jasmine says, pretty famous. What a comment, though. Please excuse the sudden reply. I don't know this Aiko girl. Aiko is Aiko 5S, right? She had quite the following. Interesting. What happened? So that's the account name. Jasmine says, yeah, that's right. She was well known while using this handle. Azami should note that down. Okay, so we did get some information there. I know there was a way to look things up, but I guess that's probably one of our things for later. Aiko's exposing her friends again. Wait, what is this? Azami asks, is this someone she knows? But Jasmine says, could be someone who knows her from her old handle days. Her old handle's a mouthful, all right? So Aiko's has a history of scamming people, probably, allegedly, hypothetically in Minecraft. I like how I'm saying that she's a real person who can sue me. Mio's identity has been revealed. She's so precious. Poor Mio. Mio's doxed. Aiko, you doxed your friend. Jasmine says, how's it supposed to feel? Interesting. So maybe you need to interact with this post first. Azami says, snooping around for personal information? And Jasmine says, blowing up again. These two get more attention than the case itself. We should check how far these guys are digging. Azami says, also, why this photo? And Jasmine says, I don't get it either. Old photo, maybe? Weird that they post this with all the heat. Okay, all right. So I had to start with the photo. Okay. I'm getting into the comments because I'm the comments are going to tell us more than we need here. So Mio was attacked. Oh, we were really close to being done with this one, actually. I wonder if we use our special, I forgot we had the special glasses. Not happening. No search keywords hidden here. What if we dig a little bit? Just use it. Okay, it just goes up to the first post. Interesting. False alarm. I feel like maybe I did. Oh, but wait. The letters, the past username, Aiko5S. What do you mean no notable search terms? That looks like a notable search term to me. There we go. Now we found it. Azami says, I think I'm going to look into Aiko5S. Jasmine says, Aiko's former account? Yeah, might turn up something. Go for it. Search keyword. Okay, we got the search keyword. It's taking me a minute to get back to the mechanics of the game, but it's fine. So if we go to keyword search, we can search her old username, and we have found results. All right, so the first says that this, oh, it's getting a lot of views. This Aiko girl is really that Aiko 5S. I used to watch her on BooTube all the time. So is she like, not saying this happens, but is she like one of those BooTubers? Sure. That like accidentally kind of gets themselves into a cult, hypothetically, allegedly in Minecraft? Cause like, it's happened. Let's talk about this one. Jasmine says, used to post vids on BooTube. Super active. So that's one. We had the job hunting consultation and swap back to Aiko. She was on TV before as a college influencer. Okay. Azami says, Aiko-san was even on TV. And Jasmine says, oh yeah, she was a commentator on some info variety show. Okay, we found a clue. She's a former influencer. All right. Funny that this is what we're starting with. Oh, so this was like more of a comment, but here we go. This one says, we ask ex-charismatic influencer turned job hunting consultant CEO Aiko about current recruitment trends and what skills companies are looking for. Click here for more. I'm not clicking that, but we will talk about it. Jasmine says, from some old article, man, they're quick. Nothing there. This comment says, I went to them for advice on job hunting. She was super nice and I learned a lot. Never thought the CEO would be Aiko 5S. Aiko 5S did all those streams solely aiming for controversy, and now she's a CEO. Let's talk about it. Azami says, is it true she wanted to stir up controversy? And Jasmine says, depends on the stunt. Aiko 5S had both solo videos and collabs with other streamers. Some of those really were asking for it. That's a big thing to say. As a college group, they had a real kids will be kids kind of vibe. Okay. Met her many years ago. She was super friendly. So we're still looking for post flaming Mio, but there's nothing here about Mio specifically. What if we found one. Oh, no moving letters. Interesting that that's the one that did it. Because I was thinking this would get us somewhere. This one with the click here for more. Can't click there for more though, which is unfortunate. What if okay, that one maybe? Locked on now? No letters moving. Darn it. All right, it's time to okay, well, locked on to that one. I guess we still need to look for things about Mio. Yeah, there's this comment that says that this is Mio Sato. Oh, but the letters are moving around there. Oh, because that's her full government name that doxes her. Yeah, that would do that. Azami says, oh no, her full name. And Jasmine says, yeah, that's pretty messed up. Like if she had any sort of notoriety, it wouldn't, like it would still be messed up, but like also if if she like won a competition with her full government name, then that would make more sense. But like, I don't think she's done really much of anything. So let's look up this one and this will get us to be able to search Mio's name. Azami says, Mio Sato is Mio's full name. If someone posted this to social media, I'm worried that this might lead to some weird rumors. Jasmine says, yeah, try looking into that too. Why all the sub posting? She's like, why is everyone being subtweeted? But maybe we'll see where the rumor came from. Azami says, maybe so. Need to find something to put out the flames. All right, we got Mio's government name that we can search now. So let's try that one. And then we can try the two of them together. And I think we'll probably get something there too. Okay, Mio. So guess who posts that looks like this Mio's full name is confirmed Mio Sato. The info from here, I think it's supposed to be her uni and other socials match up, which this is so messed up to be posting this because also there's other students' names in this. Like, hello? That's so messed up. This is the real horror game. Forget jump scares. The real horror is being doxxed with your classmates. Let's take a look at this. Azami says, I wonder if this is from a uni classmate. Why post Mio's personal details? Jasmine says, humans, aren't you a human? Some just rush ahead without a thought for consequences. So we did get her private info clue. So that's clue number 3. Oh, Mio's alt account. So looks like they also found her account and everything. But we can search this now. Azami is not chronically online. The poor sweet Azami. Azami says, Jasmine, what's an alt account? Jasmine says an alt account. The other one, for anonymously posting stuff they want to keep secret. Azami says Mio had one? Azami, everyone has an alt account. It's 2025, everyone has an alt account. Jasmine says, this post is going places. All right, so we can now probably search that username and find her alt account. And honestly, truly, if she was really using that alt account, how you're supposed to use an alt account, she probably posted like 50 tweets about like being scared for her life and then didn't post ever again. So Bloom 30. This Azami says, if this really is Mio's account, we should look into it. Might tell us where the rumors around here came from. Jasmine sighs and says, guess we should, huh? At least to catch up on what's being said. Azami says yes. And Jasmine says, thing is, her name isn't that unique, so search hits may be too wide. Look for more keywords that might lead to Mio herself. And Azami says, I'll try. But we got her username. So like, that's kind of all day in the life with the face like, okay. So she had a dating profile, which isn't that weird. Damn. Oh my God, this is getting really bad. The real horror. All right, let's try her ult. too many search results. Please add search terms and try again. So what if we add Eiko's username in there as well? See if they've ever interacted. Okay, that's rude. What about Miyosato? No results found. Why? What if we add, oh, you can only do 1 or 2. Let's just try Eiko and Mio. No results. Damn it. We need to find more terms, but I think I know what the other terms are. It's the other account. It's the dating profile. But it does say sugar dating, which I think is a little bit more than just like a dating profile. And we're not going to elaborate on that. The real horror, demonetization. Jasmine says, whoa. Flammable, handle with care. Mio's your friend, right? Also, I forgot that Jasmine was calling Azami Zami. Any word from her? Azami says, no. I need to see her so we can talk directly. So that's probably gonna be the key. That's the kicker. That's the other search term we needed. Azami says, if this is where this rumor started, I hate to do this to Mio, but we should search the word sugar dating too. Okay. Okay, Jasmine says. Go for it then. God. So this is gonna do it. Yeah, unfortunately there's been some results found. Again, guess who is like, is it the same guess who posting? No, I think that might just be like a fill-in username. Jeez, these comments. So this post says, totally boasting about her scores as Bloom 30. Who are these sugar dating success stories for anyway? Dear God. All right. Jasmine says, well, some role model figures make how-to manuals and such, so that paves the path. Oh, God, they're grifting. They're grifting, Your Honor. Breaking news, Bloom 30, the break-in victim had a not-so-secret okay, let's maybe look at this one. I don't think there's anything there. Just a dud. There has to be something somewhere else, right? Maybe this one? Oh, Jasmine says, looks like we've tracked down the rumor's source. You shouldn't just believe all of what's written here. This might be related to why the anomaly appeared in the first place. Why would the anomaly appear if she's like, how do I put this the best way without getting demonetized? How would, I'm like trying to, it's not illegal, is it? I don't think it is. As long as they're like, it's just a date, you know? Get your head out of the gutter. Azami says, I wish I could put a stop to all this. So we have her past then. All right, and we did our social media research. That moose is terrifying. It looks like the mouth-washing moose. I should put mouth-washing on the schedule. Oopsies. Jasmine asks what Azami is doing, and Azami says, I posted myself from my own account. I had to put it out there. Please don't insult Mio without knowing anything. Give it a rest. So see, now you're gonna get involved. Jasmine says, huh? Isn't that just fuel for the fire? It is. This poor girl we should not be letting her on social media. She does not know how it works. We should be taking her phone away at this point. Azami says, I can't just sit and watch. Well, Mio is feeling so much pain. Jasmine says, guess you're the type who only learns from experience. That white knight spirit you got there is fine and all, but you should really think before you act. Azami says, wow. And Jasmine says, up to you though. Zami does what Zami will. You can wrap up searching the socials. Time to prep for on-site. Azami says, understood, and off we go. Back in the car. Jasmine says, here we go. Azami agrees. Says, I'll ask Mio as much as I can about the stalker and her past. Jasmine says, if you go out like that, it'll be way too overwhelming. There are other directions you can look into. Think before you pry. But if you're fine with possibly losing a friend, be my guest. Azami is so naive. She says, I see. Thank you, Jasmine. I'll be careful. All right, time to be a detective again. So we're back at Mio's place. Azami asks if Mio's all right, and Mio says, yes, I'm not hurt or anything, but I was so scared because there was something that like jumped out from either her window or like under her bed or something. Azami says, I'm glad you're safe. And Mio says, I kept thinking, if only you'd been there with me yesterday. Azami, I really don't know what to do. Azami apologizes and says, talk to me when you feel up to it. No pressure, okay? I'm starting to think that the like job hunt consultation thing that Eiko is doing is really just like a front for something else, if that, without getting demonetized. I think it's a front, hypothetically, allegedly in Minecraft. Azami says, I'm all geared up to help Mio, but she looks pressed as hell. But what exactly should I look into? Jasmine says, hey, don't ask me. Some stuff you could check out. This anomaly, dude under the bed, is showing up at Mio's like a bad habit. So maybe the anomaly was born from some connection to Mio herself. Affection, jealousy, malice. Many urban myths are born from people's emotions. It could, maybe it's like shame or something. That would make enough sense, and also it would just be like a little bit too real. But Jasmine says, might want to poke around that angle. Anyhow, it's up to you. Azami says, connections between the anomaly and Mio. Duly noted. Okay, thank you, Jasmine. I'm on it. She's so excited. So we need to find a connection between Mio and the anomaly. So we could probably start with talking to Mio. Azami asks Mio if she's doing okay. And Mio instead of responding, just asks Azami to stay here. She says, I'll answer anything. I'll do what I can. Azami says, yes, I'll be right here. Don't push yourself too much. So I think let's start by like humoring her. Who could the man be? Also, the post I think is in reference to the post that she posted about the man under the bed, not like the post that was like about her past and all that. But I can't be sure. Azami says, any idea who the man under the bed might be? Mio doesn't respond. And she says, I don't think so. All right, so we can ask about the post too. We'll do that next. Okay, Eiko-san's post. Different post. Secret third post. That's not secret at all. Azami says, I saw Eiko-san's post. You were attacked again. I think I was supposed to do them in a different order, and I did them in the wrong order, and that's okay. We're remembering how to play the game. Mio says, though I didn't really want her to post about it. Eiko-san convinced me that at times like these, it's better to speak up. And I felt she was right. Okay, so were you hurt then? Azami asks, you weren't hurt, were you? Was anything stolen? Mio says, I'm okay, I wasn't hurt, and nothing was stolen. So we can ask what happened last night then. And Azami says, I don't want to make you relive it all, but could you tell me what happened last night? Mio thinks about it and says, it's okay, I can tell you. Yesterday, after everyone went home, Eiko-san was still worried and called me from her place. I do think they show that in the cutscenes and stuff. I checked the locks as I was talking on the phone, then hung up. When I turned around, Azami says, that man was there. And Mio says, yes, he was in my room, even though I definitely locked the door. Not the face, oh my god. So she says, what was that, Azami? So she's terrified again. Or, I don't know who to trust. I don't know what's going on anymore. Azami asks if she's okay. And Mio says, sorry, thinking about it is really terrifying. Azami tells Mio to take it easy on herself. And Mio says, you're here to help after all. I'll do what I can. I think he was holding an axe or something and slowly came closer. I think passed out then? Next thing I remember, it was morning. Oh, I think I passed out then. Mio says she's really scared. And then she asks, what should I even do? Azami says, you'll be all right. I'll figure this out. Take a deep breath. We need to like look into the rest of the room. Probably should have started with that before like freaking Mio out. I just thought it was easiest to start with a person. Azami thinks that we need to find a way to keep this anomaly from showing up again. So we have the info that Mio was attacked, but was she really attacked, you know? Like, I don't know if she was like really fully attacked. Okay, so we can actually talk to Eiko now. And she says, sorry for not filling you in. Mio wasn't hurt, but seems quite upset. So please avoid asking her about sensitive matters. Well, you should have been over there when we were talking to her. If it helps, I can tell you about what Mio told me. All right, give me the details. Azami says, may I ask about the details you didn't mention when you called earlier? Oh yeah, I think that there was stuff she left out of the phone call. What happened to Mio last night after we left? Azami asks. And Eiko says, I came to check on Mio this morning and found her passed out. I immediately took care of her, but she's still been in distress ever since. So I listened to her story and then got in touch with you. If it was just a story, then wasn't a photo posted? Interesting. So that's really all we know then. I think they came from here, so we can examine the window. And it is securely locked. Don't see any traces of entry. We can take a peek then. Nowhere to hide on the balcony either. We already did both of those. So we'll just go like across the room. We can look around the bookcase then. Bags, accessories, manga, and books fill the shelves. Nothing really unusual. Mio really is a tidy one. Even her shelves are well organized. Okay, so nothing there. The bed then. We'll examine the bed. Because I thought it was the window, but maybe it was underneath the bed. I don't fully remember. Ah, okay. According to the urban myth, he crawls out from under here. I see something. Oh, a voodoo doll. Oh, come on. Wait, no. A creepy doll? I don't recall Mio being into this kind of stuff. I should check with her. So we got a voodoo doll. We can peek under the bed a bit more then. Definitely room for one person. And I don't see any secret openings or anything. No, it probably is the doll. That's the thing. So probably at night, that thing like turns into a creature. And maybe she got the doll as like a good luck charm or something. I don't know why. Like, it could have been from Eiko. Maybe she's like, oh, this is a good luck charm. And then Eiko, why do you have the creepy doll? What's happening? So we can ask about the doll. Azami says, there's something I'd like you to look at. The creepy ass doll. She asks, is this yours? Oh, we'll get the plot thicken. Mio says, huh? No, it's the first time I've seen it. Where did you find it? Azami says, under the bed. And Mio says, goodness, that's so... What exactly is going on, Azami? She says, maybe it means something? I really don't know. They're both just like freaking out. It's kind of disturbing. I'll hold on to this for now. I think we should burn it. But also if it is like a voodoo doll of some sort, maybe don't burn it because that would probably take someone out, hypothetically in theory. So I remember the bathroom being a point of contention before. We can look around. Azami says, if he hid somewhere, it'd be here. Don't see anything strange. But there was something strange about the bathroom last time, yeah? And then we have the door here. We can examine a sturdy, reliable door chain. pretty unlikely it's been tampered with. And we can remember then that Mio mentioned checking the locks as she talked on the phone. So it's unlikely she forgot to lock anything. Okay, so I do think, let's ask Azami about the creepy doll, if we can. It looks like we can. Oh no, we can't. So jury's out. What if we go, okay. So the under the bed guy did something to the bookshelf, walked this way, fell, and I guess just like disintegrated? Let's take a look at all of these. So this one, is this Shadow the man who attacked Mio yesterday? Probably, but what is he doing? I know it's not a ghost, but I'm just as scared. I hate those haunted houses where you need to walk through yourself. If we look closer then, Azami says, I need to gather clues on this man, but it just looks like he's searching the shelves. Sneaking in, going through the shelves for Mio's belongings? Is he interested in Mio herself? Interested? Gross. All right, so there's then this one over here. Let's start with the question marks. This man-like shadow might be the intruder who scared Mio last night. If we look closer then, Azami says I should take a closer look at the man's shadow. Speaking of which, it doesn't really look like he's threatening her. Is he just watching? Oh, so this is Mio. This is where she passed out. But why? Creepy. If we observe then, because the shadows should keep moving, this shadow definitely looks like it appeared from under the bed. But how does something appear from under your bed? Can't even lock them out. How can we prevent this man from showing up? We burned the doll. So a man appeared from under the bed. Yeah, we had that clue. So then this is Mio then. A body, okay. We're looking into the past, yes. Mio is just lying here. And if we look closer, is it really Mio? The features are all blurry. It does look like a girl, but I should make sure. Check about the shadow near the entrance. So is there anything else here? I guess we have to probably ask about that not in the past. So let's recap on what we gathered because we do have quite a bit of info now. I clicked one of these things, but this is just one. I don't know which one I clicked. There was two things that needed clicking. He keeps appearing, this man under the bed. The man under the bed appeared at this person's home. So it's Mio's home, that's for sure. Yes, the man appeared in front of Mio. This anomaly showing up in Mio's room. What's going on? So that's one of them, and it kind of adds to our weird tree. So then we have to think about a connection between Mio and the anomaly. Azami says, let's think things over for a bit. So we're doing another one of these. What is the man under the bed's purpose? I mean, the shadow who merely watches. Okay, that's not the right one. Maguria is back. They say, what is the man under the bed known for? And Azami says, he is said to carry an axe or a machete and to kill residents of the room, correct? Azami says, that's right, he's famous for something like that. But Mio hasn't been physically harmed. In that case, what were the intruder's actual intention? Okay, it's time for the synthesis, the analyzation. Maybe he wants, because we can use context clues to stream online. He wants to be a streamer. If this man wanted to be a streamer, I think he would be terrorizing Eiko instead of Mio, quite frankly. Maybe he wants to secretly appear in front of you and scare you? Is that it? Doesn't feel quite right. It really doesn't. Azami says Mio wasn't attacked and nothing was stolen. Yet the man keeps appearing. What could this mean? Okay, so it's not a secret. Okay, I got the other two right though. Suddenly. Okay, it's sudden, not secret. Okay. Maybe he wants to suddenly appear in front of you and scare you. Okay, so jump scare man. You heard of jump man? Get ready for jump scare man. From the shadow's movements, that's how it looks to me. Does this mean he actually just has an interest toward Mio? That would mean this anomaly isn't really the man under the bed, which he doesn't have a weapon, so that does make sense. Then again, he's showing up from under the bed in a locked room because it's the doll. Makes no sense whatsoever. No, it's because the man is a manifestation of the creepy doll. So the doll was placed under the bed by somebody. My money's on Eiko, because why the hell not? So how do we prevent the anomaly from reappearing? Burn the doll! Are we doing this right? I clicked through to it. What is it in the log? Are we doing this right? Let's think it through. I want to help Mio somehow. The man appeared from under the bed, yes. Oh, but the intruder appears from under the bed, however carefully she locks up. What am I supposed to do? All right, how about, the doll isn't even on here. All right, how about blocking the space under the bed with furniture? I'm literally just using context clues to put sentences together. How about blocking the space under the bed with furniture? If it's showing up from under the bed, we could just fill the space, couldn't we? I think this was like supposed to be an earlier synthesis hypothesis bit, and I just didn't do it. So we still have some clues we need to find. I think we probably need to go back to normal vision though and start talking again though. It's probably where our clues are coming from. So what do we got? We can check about the shadow that was watching someone on the ground. Azami says, by the way, the place where you passed out, is it where I'm standing now? Mio says, yes, well on a call with Eiko-san and checking the window and door locks one by one. But how did you know? Because they know each other, it gets weird. She can't be like, I have secret glasses. Azami says, just a hunch? A bunch of hunches. And Mio says, is this about the weird things you see that you mentioned before? She's so chill about that, but not the creepy doll. Azami says, yeah, more or less. And she laughs awkwardly. So that's not even a clue yet. Do we have anything else we can ask? No. Okay, Azami, what do you got? Who could the man be? We can ask Eiko. Azami says, do you have any idea what the monster that attacked Mio is? I do. I think the doll's from her. Eiko says, the anomaly. A girl as cute as Mio might have caught some creep's eye somewhere, of course. So she still is like on the thing. Like she's still pushing that it's like a person who broke in. But also Eiko, aren't still on the fact, like, aren't you like a lot older than everyone here? Eiko blames Mio's ex-boyfriend. She mentioned moving here because her ex started stalking her. I don't think it's the ex. I really don't think it's the ex. Is it frequently the ex? Probably, but I don't think it's the ex this time. Zombie says her ex stalked her. Didn't we know this? Like we knew this, right? Eiko says, but you mentioned it was a monster that showed up, correct? Then maybe not. Zombie says, well, urban myths can come from obsession, it seems. Thank you for letting us know. All right, so we did get the ex-boyfriend clue as our final one. So where else can we get clues? Oh, no, we still have 2 more clues we're looking for. Oh, fill up, so we can put furniture underneath the bed. Azami says, okay, let's fill this space up, and done. But if you put stuff under the bed, and the doll is just like on the counter, then the thing's gonna just hop off the counter, you know? Azami says, alrighty, yep, this should work. Now the man under the bed has no way to get in or out. We're safe, I hope. I don't think that's it though. Is that technically a clue? Okay, yeah, that is technically a clue. So there is another one somewhere. Anything else we can talk to Mio about? Ah, the ex-boyfriend. Heard about your ex-boyfriend. Azami says, I kind of heard about your ex-boyfriend from Eiko-san. Mio says, okay. Not exactly a secret, but I didn't think it was related. Maybe that Mio was talking about the ex-boyfriend with Eiko, and that was like a side thing from last time, maybe. Because I feel like I knew that. Azami says, seems like these anomalies are sometimes born from such people's emotions. So, I just want to check. Would you mind telling me a bit more? Mio agrees and says I can share it with you then. It was 2 years ago, I think. We were only dating for a month or so. Don't know if that even qualifies as an ex. He was a control freak. He was the guy who stalked me, like I mentioned yesterday. Okay, yeah, that wasn't brought up, yeah. All right, so tell us about him, Mio. Lay it on me. Azami says, could you tell me a bit more about him? And Mio says, what is with me? Why does Mio have so many relationships with older guys? Oh, yeah, okay, it's starting to click now. The past, but was brought up. Yeah, okay. Mio says around age 30. And not that 30 is old, but aren't they like early college, right? Like, aren't they like 18? Get a job, get away from her. Take back your creepy doll. Said he worked at a famous company and cared a lot about his reputation. Had a lot to say about my daily habits. Certain foods are bad for my health and so on. Which is true, but also it gets to a point where it's like, hey, stop. Everything in moderation, yeah? He was a clean freak and uptight. Kept insisting I do what he said, so I got scared. Which is understandable. Don't stay with someone like that. Whether it's like a friend or a relationship or what. Don't stay with someone who's like that. And if you find yourself being like that, maybe talk to someone about it. So Azami says, I see. That's why you broke up after a month or so. Mio says, yeah, but he kept texting me, saying he was nearby and asking to meet. Around that time, I heard this place was available, so I moved here as fast as I could. Hey, we've all been there. You know, we've all had to suddenly move into a new apartment. No, just me? Okay. Azami says, makes sense. Gotcha, thanks. Ex turned stalker. Did the anomaly arise from this person's obsession? Which, like, it could have been it, but we got all our clues at the very least. Jasmine says, Zami, I'll be heading out. And Azami says, oh, it's already dark. I think I should stay with Mio tonight. Because that if we stay with Mio, then we'll see, oh, yeah, the doll is the thing under the bed. And it's not the thing under the bed at all. The doll was just under the bed, but who planted the doll there? Jasmine says, boss man told you to come back. Gonna pass on that? Just got a text wall, like a whole paragraph about the center's purpose and your debt and blah, blah. Azami says, yeah, I know already. So I guess we do have to go back and we're gonna probably tell Mio that. I like you can see the boxes under the bed now. Eiko says, duty calls. I'll stay here tonight. I need to go grab fresh clothes, but should be back in no time. Azami is confused, but says, really? Thank you so much. Because also, like, if Eiko, maybe Eiko, what if Eiko planted the doll to make like an online spectacle for views? Oh my god, wait, what if that's it? What if they're both in on it? Oh my god. Anyways, Eiko says you should head back and rest. More people being here won't necessarily solve anything. And yeah, it makes sense if Eiko-san is staying. Because if you have like a whole party in the apartment, the creature is probably gonna be like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. Azami says, okay then, if you say so. But Mio is hesitant, it seems. Interesting. She asks if we're leaving. Azami says, Eiko-san will stay with you. Also, we took preventative measures against the man under the bed, but it's not the man under the bed, that's the thing. And Eiko knows about that goddamn doll because we couldn't ask her about that goddamn doll. He shouldn't be showing up from there anymore, I think. Mio says, really? Thank you so much, Azami. It's so, like, they're so cute and wholesome together, but also it's like, this isn't gonna go well. Azami says, I hope you get some good rest tonight. And Mio says, you're really my best friend, you know? But there's so many things I don't know. I'm so glad I listened to your advice, she says. Like, I feel like I'm like, a million things could happen. Okay, all right. So this is what's happening while we go back to the Urban Myth Dissolution Center. Why is Mio surprised? Because, all right, this is after Eiko has gone to go get her stuff as well. Also, standing in the middle of the apartment, I would like sit in a corner, you know? I like need to see the entire apartment. She's like in a studio. I'm like, whole thing's open. I'm opening the bathroom door. I need a view of everything. I'm getting security cameras, like, or you know what, at that point I might just bite the bullet and try to find somewhere else to live, quite frankly. But also, that's hard. Mio says, it's nothing. There's no way. I'm thinking too much. Azami told me he's no longer coming out from under the bed. Where is that doll? Wait, no, Azami took the doll. Oh, wait a second. Eiko-san is almost here. Maybe I should go meet her. I'm more scared here, alone in my room. Yeah, I feel like it would have made more sense if Mio went with Eiko, or like they like traveled together. I feel like Eiko might know something and is like doing this all for social media like hype, you know? Oh, there's our guy. Hey, buddy. Oh, do I have to run? Oh no. Oh, he has an axe now. All right, well now he has an axe. Okay, well, all right. Awesome. But it almost feels like, you know the concept of like a copycat killer? It almost kind of feels like that. It's like a dude pretending to be the man under the bed, but isn't really. Because like, where did you come from, dude? Mio says, why are you doing this? Do I have to run? Oh no, it's a cutscene. I'm like immediately putting my finger on A. No, it's doing it for me. Yeah, she should have gone with Eiko. Oh no, she went back inside. I mean, I guess, yeah, if you like her. Well, also if you're inside, I don't know. Mio says, Eiko-san, please, sorry. What is this? Is in the room? Whoa! When did that happen? We were just in here. What the? I wasn't expecting that. Next day, I have no water left. So Azami says that Eiko-san called me this morning. Mio was attacked again, this time in the apartment hallway. Are we gonna talk about the blood in the apartment? I feel like this is where we start to get the police involved, you know? I don't know where that came from though. Jasmine says, what? No way. Azami says it's my fault, which it's not, because it wasn't. Because hypothetically, even if Mio went with Eiko, like that, how did that happen? How'd you do that? Azami says Mio wanted me to stay with her. And Jasmine says, not much you could have done. Like the boss man said, we aren't exactly bodyguards. Azami says, I understand that, but anyway, I just heard from them again. And Mio is at Eiko-san's place now. Yeah, I wouldn't, where are you can't even sit down. What are you gonna sit? The bathroom? You're just gonna sit on the toilet? That's not comfortable. And Jasmine says, makes sense. You know Eiko's address? So we got it sent to us. Gotcha, head into Eiko's then. We should check out Mio's place as well, but if she's out, it'd be locked. Yeah, we need to go to Eiko-san's place to get the keys first. Azami thanks Jasmine, which she is just the ride. There's probably going to be a lot more to explore here. I kind of want to like finish this storyline out. I think this exact same thing happened last time where we ended up going for like 2 hours because it's been like 51 minutes I've been recording. So Azami asks, is Mio safe? And Eiko is like very torn up looking about this, but she says, yes, thankfully she's in the back. No physical harm at least. And Azami says, I'm glad to hear that. Then the anomaly didn't do anything this time either. Oh, but they don't know about the blood. Eiko says, about that. You need to see this. Yeah. Azami says, is this Mio's room? Yep, it's the whole apartment, baby. Eiko says, yes, and there's more. This photo has somehow been posted on social media. By who? It's getting weird, but also if they were like behind doing this for like clout and like a viral moment, I could see that. Not to like not trust like victims and all that, but like there's something about Eiko. Azami says, oh no, who would do such a thing? Eiko says maybe the edited one she posted before. I can't see how else. Mio says she ran back into her room and immediately locked the door. So Azami starts to say, then how can anyone take the picture? And Eiko says, how is it even possible? Azami says, I don't know either. So we are gonna go talk to Mio. Eiko says she's really upset, wasn't able to tell me much, but she might be more comfortable talking to you. So Azami is on the case. How many clues do we have here? Unsure. We still have to talk to Jasmine. She says, Mio's safe at least, yeah? And Azami says, what could I have done for her? And what to do now? Jasmine says, hey, regrets aren't going to help much at this point. We're the Urban Myth Dissolution Center, she said the thing, and we investigate anomalies. Use your time on working out the anomaly and handling her problem. Azami says, you're right, will do. And Jasmine says, you know, I hate to say this, but oh, those dating rumors on socials, they're likely related in some way. I think this might be a shot in the dark. I do think possibly they're trying to drum up, like use this as a cover up. Because that's the thing. It's like, you know, the concept of like creating a story to cover up like bad hits on social media. So if you look up like a celebrity sometimes, or like cleaning out the searches. I've seen people will do this with K-pop idols, and I don't want to like say any specifics because I don't want anyone to come for my ass, but like when like a K-pop idol gets into some sort of scandal, people will do this thing on Twitter where they're like, clear the searches, and they'll like do like XYZ with like positive search terms that start with the same couple of letters. So when you look up a certain search term, like the recommended suggestions aren't like dating rumors. And in this case, that dating rumors would be the closest example, you know, like that people, that's a thing that happens. I feel like something similar might be happening, but I'm thinking Eiko might have set it up without telling Mio. Because Mio's like really torn up about this. So I don't think she actually had anything to do with it, but I don't trust Eiko with a 10-foot pole. So Jasmine does say be careful about how you put it though, when we ask her questions and stuff. Anyhow, that's up to you, as usual. So first, let's go talk to Mio and then ask about those rumors. Okay. Mio! What a big apartment. Well, it's not that big. Okay, it is just one area though. Hi, Mio. Azami asks if she's okay. And Mio says, why is this happening? I didn't do anything. Why me, she says. Azami says, you'll be all right. And we have a bunch of questions. So let's just start with what happened. Azami says, Mio, please tell me what you can. What happened back in your room? So Mio says, I was too anxious to stay there alone. Eiko-san was already on her way back too. So I headed out. But then Azami says, Ben. And Mio continues that a creepy guy was standing in the hallway. And it was the guy. Mio says, I was so scared I ran back inside. So her room got covered in, yeah. Azami says, wait, so your room got covered in red? Well, that's the thing. It was like a very split second thing. Like wasn't enough time to like, unless you like had a paintball gun or something like weird like that. Just like rubber, like water balloons full of like red paint. Like that's the only thing I could think. And you just started throwing the water balloons out, but then other stuff would be damaged too, yeah? Same thing with like a paintball gun. Like how would you do that quick? Even like, if it was hypothetically, allegedly in Minecraft, if it is blood, that's still like, you don't do that quickly. That like, hello? I've watched enough Criminal Minds. That amount of effort takes a minute. Oh, Mio says, didn't you say the man under the bed wouldn't be showing up anymore? Because that was a copycat myth, dude. I went out on my own because I believed what you said. Also, this could be in a weird roundabout way. Eiko trying to like make Azami and Mio's friendship like more strained. Because like I'm curious who recommended calling Azami, or if anyone was recommended. I don't know. Maybe Eiko is just using this as like a big opportunity here. Azami apologizes. So what happened next then? She says, Mio, I'm sorry for what you're going through. I'll do my best to help you in whatever way I can. Tell me in detail, please. The man you saw in the hallway, he entered your room even though you'd locked up with the key. But did he actually enter the room? Because we didn't see that. Mio does say yes. And then says, I hadn't even been away for 5 minutes. Yeah, that like it doesn't make sense. Azami says, that's impossible. How can you pull something like that? Yeah, see, like how do you pull that off? Unreal phenomenon. The only thing I can think is that like it was more than 5 minutes and Mio like blacked out. Like maybe she did the thing, like the paint. We're just gonna call it red paint in the room. Like maybe it was like she blacked out. I don't know. Maybe she's cursed. Anyways, you saw a man in your room because the answer to this is no. Azami says you ran back into your room and it was all red. The man couldn't have snuck into your room before you, right? Was he there when you got back in? And Mio says he was in the hallway. I entered my room and locked the door, but the room was already a mess somehow. He just popped up out of the floor. Well, actually, how I recognized it is that she turned around. Anyways, okay, so what about the photo? Because that's another weird part. It's like, how'd you get that photo? Azami says about the photo of your room that was posted. Any idea who might have done that and why? Yeah, no, that's just like a weird afterthought. Like, oh yeah, how'd they get the picture? Because again, you think about like, it would take a very long time to get that much red paint everywhere. But then also, you have the added aspect of like a clear photo of it. Because if it was like a blurry, like quick little like 30 seconds, like I got the shot, let's run. That would make sense, but like it's a clear, steady photo from like what I can assume. Because if it wasn't a clear, steady photo, they'd be like, that's debatable. Mio says, I don't know, and I can't live there anymore. Yeah, you're stronger than me. I would have moved out a lot faster than that. Okay, maybe not. You do make a good point, Mio. She says, well, I need to move. I don't have that kind of money. You do make a good point there, Mio. That's the reason why all my apartment woes I've had in the last year, the only reason I stayed in this apartment is because they didn't raise my rent. It's the same as it was last year, to like the penny. So I'm like, okay, all right, I guess we're staying here. Fine, sure, okay, sure. I didn't want to go apartment hunting anyways, I have surgery. Like, that's exactly how that went down. I hope you all know this, thank you. So about Mio's room, yeah? You got me there, Mio. Azami says, after your room was ransacked and covered in red, did you notice anything else wrong there? Yeah, they don't even call it blood, it's red paint. Mio says, I haven't really looked, didn't have time, which is understandable, she just bolted. Azami says, from those photos posted online, the main thing was the red stains, right? Was it like fresh, or like was it actually stained in? Mio says, I think so. So Azami says, we'll probably be investigating your room, so if you notice anything. And Mio says, I often trip on things, so I try to keep tidy and not leave anything on the floor. Mio, you're so real for that, but you're better than me for keeping things tidy. If anything's fallen, the mess might be his doing. Okay, so again, we're talking about things that have fallen on the ground. So if it was like paint balloons or a paintball gun, then yeah, that's how that would work. Because the room looked neat, but we didn't even see it for that long. Azami says, right, your room is always so neat. My own room is such a mess. Haha. Me too, girl. Okay, so Mio says, if you need to check my room, here, take my keys. Azami laughs and says, okay, thank you, I appreciate it. So we did get the key to her apartment, which is exactly what we need. So what do we do now? Or what does Mio plan to do now? I think that room really isn't safe for you. Mio agrees and says, I've decided to stay at Eiko-san's for a while. She said she'll stay by my side at all times, that I shouldn't worry. See, this also feels very weird. Maybe I'll be safer if I do what she says. All right, that's a red flag. But I don't know if the game's gonna... Like, I see that, and I'm like, that's a red flag, right? That's questionable, right? But Azami agrees. So then about the social media, yeah? She says it might be difficult to talk about it, but can I ask you about the rumors online? Mio says, does that have anything to do with all this? Because earlier I think I said, like, if it stems from emotion, maybe it is something like shame. You don't have to be ashamed for doing what you gotta do to get by. Nothing wrong with that. And maybe it is. And so now she's like blaming herself for all of this. And Eiko is taking advantage of that. But Eiko already also like constructed this whole scenario to begin with. Azami apologizes and says, I don't know yet. Do you prefer we don't ask? But Mio says, it's okay, I can tell you. It's true. Oh, she did the dating thing. All right, okay. Living alone, going to school, and working on the side was overwhelming. Then a friend suggested I try it, that everyone was doing it and that it's normal, so I started too. See, that's how these things start. You get it, right? 5 hours of work after classes, or just 2 hours with some middle-aged guy. And if it goes into it any deeper, it's just a date. Get your head out of the gutter. 2 hours is a reasonable amount of time for dinner. A dinner where you sit and have food for like an hour, maybe a dessert, goes an extra like 15-30 minutes. You talk a little bit, you're done. That's it. It's a dinner date. Get your head out of the gutter. But you do earn a week's worth of part-time pay. But Mio says, I didn't think they'd dig all that up. And then, so what's up, Mio? Is she gonna, if she says she feels some amount of like shamefulness for this, or like it's all her fault, that's it. I'm locking in. I know I'm right at that point. Which, again, getting into a little bit too realness with this, but it is a visual novel, so like, what do we expect? But Azami asks if anything else happened. Oh, Mio says, my parents just found out what's been going around the internet. I'm from a small farming town. Rumors spread so fast in the countryside. I was thinking of going home after graduation. Now I don't think I can. Yeah, that's also like another unfortunate thing. I think that's also playing into it. And also definitely not helping with the fact that she probably does feel some amount of like shame for doing this. She's under pressure. Yeah. Talk to Mio and reassure her, so we did that. Ask them both about Mio's socials, so we do have to ask Eiko about Mio's social media. But Eiko seems very calm now. She says, don't worry about Mio. All right. Okay, let's just do all the questions. Let's like ask everything. So about Mio's room then. Azami says that Mio told you about her room, right? Okay, Eiko is now no longer calm and collected. She says, how could such a thing happen just as I was out getting my clothes? Her room was drenched in red. They're being very specific about not saying blood. Everyone is. That apartment is really no good for her. So what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Eiko? Yeah, what do you mean by that? Eiko says that place is mostly for students. Many of our uni students live there, so I'm familiar with it. Isn't she a student? Yeah. Fork found in kitchen, student found in student housing. What do you mean? Eiko says it's close to the station with lots of storage. The catch being that security really isn't up to par. Is weird because I feel like any student housing oh, that's a lie. On-campus student housing is usually pretty good. Like the security for it is usually pretty good. Like there was a couple incidences back when I was in on-campus student housing where they had to like lock down the area and everything for stuff happening like in the off-campus housing because it was like close by. And I would say on-campus security is usually pretty good. At least in the US, that's where my frame of reference comes from. Off-campus security though, I did stay in a place, hypothetically, allegedly in Minecraft for a couple months that had bullet holes in the windows that never got fixed. Welcome to Texas. Anyways, Eiko says, Mio should be living in a much better quality apartment. Yeah, we all should. It would be great if we all had a 3-bedroom house, but money, you know? Maybe even this very apartment, Eiko says. See, that's... What do you mean by that, Eiko? Okay, so about the social media then, yeah? Izami says, I think maybe you should refrain from actively posting anything for now, which is insane that they're allowed to post anything, because I feel like anytime you hear about like a stalking case or like a criminal endeavor, everyone involved is specifically instructed to not post, especially about whereabouts and things like that, because then it starts getting weird, you know? But I guess they're not really getting the cops directly involved. They're using like a third-party service. So unfortunately, we're the ones who have to be like, hey bestie, if you really care about Mio, put the phone down, close out Twitter for a couple of days, you know, go touch some grass even. Could be nice. Go to a park with a lot of people in it, you know, get some sun. Okay, and then Eiko's gonna do like the fake girl boss justice bit. God. I hate it here. She says, in my book, having a voice is the best offense and defense. That's how I've won my battles. What battles are you talking about, Eiko? What do you mean? Like, it's getting really hard to support all women's rights and wrongs when you have people like Eiko. I'm joking. I swear I'm joking. Oh my God. She says, that reminds me. Who was it that posted the room photo anyway? I don't know. I think it was you, Eiko. It was your old account. Okay, about the posted photo, let's ask about it. Yeah, Azami even says, I wonder who posted the photo of Mio's room and why? Eiko says, not just the poster, but the reposters too. They're all the same. Are they? In this case, I do think the repost, like, if you, like, people reposting gore, that's, like, bad, but the person who initially posted it is the one responsible in that case. So, like, are the reposters bad? Yes, but not as bad as the original poster, you know? She says the slightest hint of blood in the water and zing, they rush over to feast like the desperate piranhas they are. Eiko, you say this like you have experience with this. Reactions like that will probably never change. Okay, so how's Mio doing? How's she doing? Eiko says she's barely eaten anything since coming here. Hasn't touched her phone at all, with her socials blowing up like that. See, Eiko, why do you immediately just care about the social media? This is why I'm like, Eiko did something. She isn't talking to me much either, so she must really be at her breaking point. The writing is like on the walls in red paint. The exact red paint used in Mio's apartment. But we need to keep a close eye on her. Okay, so why take such good care of Mio, Eiko? You like barely know her. Azami says, why do you take such good care of Mio? Oh, okay, so this actually does kind of like, it's kind of like, this feels a little bit like either the red herring to throw us off, Eiko, or this is meant to like connect it. I don't know. Eiko says they're all judging Mio for her past, but my own part-time jobs weren't always all that. Like, yeah, it's hard out there, but as a single woman who works, goes to school, job hunts, and attempts to have a life, it's that much harder. Mio reminds me so much of my younger self. I really want to help her. I feel like this. Anyways, Azami says, that's really kind of you, Eiko-san. And Eiko says, I'm sure Mio can make as much money as she wants. Why are we immediately talking about money? I'm hoping we can get her to move into this apartment. Yeah. Azami says, wouldn't the rent here be way beyond her budget? Oh. Eiko says, I can lend her money and connect her with lucrative workplaces. What do you mean by that, Eiko? You'll help convince her too, won't you? I want no part of this. Youth is a virtue in itself. and virtue helps you earn. Dear God, as long as you know your value and where to monetize it, it's easy to earn. I just need a minute. I need a minute. Okay. All right. Okay. Azami, don't respond. Eiko says, you too. How about you ditch that tasteless part-time gig and come work with me? Oh my God. You'll be living like this in no time. That's... Oh God. Oh God. Azami, don't answer. She says I'll think about it. Poor sweet Azami. All right, about social media, stop posting. So Azami says, about the rumors around Mio that are trending right now. Eiko says, the internet is such a cesspool, isn't it? Digging up this and that on a woman being stalked by an intruder. I've been through plenty of that myself, so it no longer bothers me. Eiko, what do you mean by that? Regular girls will be scarred for life. They'll lose faith in society. Yeah, I didn't know you were so famous. Azami says, you've been through a ton. You're internet famous, aren't you? I'm sorry, I didn't know. Oh, and Eiko says, that was a long time ago. They used to call me a rising star influencer in my uni days. Influencer's like a more recent term though, I feel like. I guess probably like mid to late 2010s, I feel like it cropped up. Yeah, okay. Because she's like older, but not that much older. So I guess this makes sense. But she talks about her time in college as if it was like centuries ago, you know? Oh, do we think she's a cryptid? Oh, okay. Eiko says, but now that I've founded a company, I'm way past that silly phase. What do you mean by that? Oh, the silly phase of being a university influencer. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. We have one more clue that we need from someone. Is there anything else we can ask Mio now that we talked to Eiko? No. So I guess we just start looking around. We can observe out on her balcony. This high up, intruding must be high stakes. That's one way of living safely. If Mio could live here. I don't know about that one. So we have this bed here. We can look around. A queen-sized bed. Anything under it. So we can take a peek. And there's nothing at all. I thought beds offered storage spaces as well. What kind of lifestyle doesn't need them? No, that's so... I have like an older bed that doesn't have room for storage underneath it, but like also it's like empty. It's like an old bed frame, and I need to like get a new one specifically because I also need I need the storage in my one-bedroom apartment. So we have the desk then. These piles on the desk might be paperwork for Eiko-san's company. Let's take a peek, even though Eiko's like right over our shoulder. Job hunting consultation, promotion support, events, dispatches, the works. I say we look at the documents. We are investigating. We were called in. Looks like purchase orders and contracts with her clients. Not finding any leads on who the man might be. Of course. Maybe I should just ask Eiko-san if she knows anyone suspicious. All right, well, we got that at least. So there definitely is something else we can ask Eiko. So, do you know who the man could be? Azami says, any idea who the intruder might be? And Eiko says, I get the feeling that he isn't trying to directly hurt Mio, which we already kind of locked onto that. Though he definitely is obsessed with her. Could it be her ex-boyfriend? Do we think it's the boyfriend? Azami says, the person you're thinking of, could they be Mio's ex-boyfriend turned stalker? And Eiko says, wow, how did you know? Because you were trying to plant that information in our brain, like, yesterday. Azami says, oh, it's just a hunch. Eiko says, I mean, that's just me speculating, though. I do feel like there are enough signs to suspect that piece of work. Piece of work. Problematic ex-boyfriend. How is he problematic? Wait. So we got all the clues from the apartment. I don't think it's the ex, though. I feel like the ex is the red herring. So we did talk to both of them. Azami says, maybe we should be heading to Mio's room? But I'm worried about Mio. Should I stay with her? Then again. But Jasmine says, for now, she should be fine if she stays here with Eiko-san. And she is saying so herself. So she agreed to stay here. Azami says, if they'll be together all the time, she won't have to worry. And Jasmine says, exactly. I'll get the car. Let's get on with it. Something just pops up. Okay, so now we're at the scene of the crime again, which we do have to finish here before we can end the video because I can't start a video in the paint room. It's like far enough into the video that we got the red paint room that it's like, I probably won't get demonetized for that. But like if this was at the beginning of the video, that's it, it's over. So we do have to finish in here. Or not in here, we have to finish past this. Anyways, Jasmine says, you know, why is it that the man under the bed shows up in an apartment hallway? Because it's not the man under the bed, it's a fake! That is not your cryptid, that is not your man! Azami says, did you think of something? And Jasmine says, yeah, lots. Dude's only been popping up from under the bed so far, right? Makes sense, under the bed and all that. Why is he strutting down hallways? Azami says, about that. I kind of blocked up the space under the bed, so maybe that might have changed something? I don't think so. I think that would actually probably be the best way to like not... Jasmine says, blocked up the space? What's the big idea here? Because I mean, hypothetically, it should work. Work smarter, not harder. Azami says, I'm sorry, I thought that might stop the man from showing up. Mio was so stressed out. I guess maybe you can't, like, interfere with the magical that way, but like it looks, I think it would work. What if you don't know you're interfering? What if you just have to put stuff under the bed, like, you know? Jasmine says, listen, I know why you feel that way, but random fixes by amateurs may end up too risky. What if you just put stuff under the bed without knowing it could like block up the man under the bed, you know? Though we don't know for sure if blocking that space made all this happen. Azumi says, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry, And Jasmine says, hey, I'm not saying it's your fault. Just a heads up for next time. Ask me when you're unsure, okay? That's never a burden. I love her. I love everyone, except for Aiko. Azami thanks Jasmine and says, I'll be sure to put the bed back how it was before. The doll, what if the doll is back? That'd be insane. First thing, let's check the red soaked room. Also, if the man under the bed was here, he should have left a shadow. I should check on the shadow with clairvoyance. That's what the glasses are called again. All right, so I say at first we're examining the blood because I do want to see if it's even blood. I think it might just be red paint. Azami says, bleh, it's red all over. The smell is making me sick. Okay, so it probably is blood. That's awesome. So great. There's no way Mio could keep living here. That's the other thing, is that you would have to clean all this up and like hire cleaners and stuff. Because I don't think your apartment maintenance would take care of this one, you know? And it also is technically a biohazard. So like there's also that. Okay, we can check the floor. And the books are all over the floor. Books tossed around. Did the man under the bed do this? Feels strange that he'd want to just mess up the books. I hated it. I'd hate if the pages got scrunched up. Let's sort these out a bit so we can there's two different options to examine the books, so we'll do both. Azami says, yuck, I touched the blood, but it seems dry already. What if if it's paint, I'm gonna lose it. The books are super bloody, yeah. Or maybe not? The sides facing the floor aren't stained. So whoever did it messed up everything first to make it look more like worse than it actually is. Where was this book originally? So we can examine the books again. These are covered with blood. Wait, something's inside? A blood-soaked bookmark. Oh, it's a small note, not a bookmark. 9 p.m. Leave near door. Can't read much. Delivery memo, perhaps? Oh. Think about fallen books. Let me think about the fallen books. Okay, I guess I can't do that much yet. So we can check the shelves closely. The shelves are splattered with blood. Not the puppy. Look at the puppy toy. Red all over the shelves. Maybe I should take a look with the glasses on? So we can look at the shelves just normally then. The shelves are a total mess. I know Mia usually keeps things tidy. Also, some of the shelves are empty. Could something be here? There's extra space. I mean, she could have taken something with her, but also I don't think she really did, technically. Okay, so now we can think about the fallen books. Let's do it. Let's think things over for a bit. All right, what do we got? Something is off about the books all over the floor. Oh, so the ones that were on the floor were created the extra space. It's weird that they want to mess up just the books. And also one of the shadows, like the shadows, the guy with the clairvoyance was looking at the books. Why aren't any ideas coming to me right now? Oh, is this guy. Meguria says, try thinking step by step. The splattered blood and scattered book. Picturing both together will confuse you. Azami agrees. And Meguria says, Mio wouldn't leave books strewn around, correct? Azami says, not Mio, her room is always tidy and clean. Meguria says, what would happen if blood were to be splattered in such a room? And Azami says, if the blood was splashed on shelves full of books and knickknacks, this means those books all over the floor. Yep, maybe they fell from the shelves before the room was splattered red on purpose. Okay, so that's not right. Something was wrong with it. But Mio would never leave things lying around like this. And the undersides of the books weren't stained with blood, which means... Oh, I got that totally wrong. So it would be after the room, before the room was splattered red? I have no idea anymore. For some reason. Nope, that's not right either. So it's still not right. So it's not after or before. Maybe they fell from the shelves. Oh, for some reason before they were splattered. Okay, all right. I got the wrong order. I was like, what else works there? Maybe they fell from the shelves for some reason before the room was splattered red. And that's what I actually had that hypothesis myself. Yep, must be it. The man under the bed might have bumped into the shelves before splashing blood everywhere. Okay, that also makes sense. Or he threw the books all over the room first, then followed up with the blood, which is why I'm thinking that this is like a staged thing for clout and social media. And it's like doing the opposite, you know? But if it is doing the opposite, then maybe it's also a staged thing for like anti-clout on social media, so that then Mio has to rely on Aiko, which is weird. But why would he do that? We now have more questions. Search with glasses on. All right, let's do this one next. Oh, hey, what the hell is that? What the hell is this creature? What is that? Okay, I don't like it. I just don't like bugs. Is that a bug or something? What the heck? No way, no way, nope, no way, no bugs. Thanks, bye. We have to look closer. Arms and legs galore. Why is he stuck to the shelves? I hate it here. Looking closer, it has a human-like face. What is it? Are those hands? Looks weird. Moves weird, rather, for someone searching for books. Shadow is stuck to the shelves. God, I hate it here. I can't look at that. Okay, so now you're normal. We can examine, and it is red paint. It's doing something, tossing something around. I'm probably seeing him in the act of splattering the room red, but why do such a thing? Yeah, I did think that was weird. What the hell are you? What is this thing? Why does it have an eyeball? An eyeball monster? On closer look, seems to have a body too. It's staring at something, blinking furiously. Creepy. What is it looking at? What are you looking at? I wonder what it's watching. Need to stand in its shoes. Should be okay. There's no way to touch it. Let's see. I can scan the whole room from here. Kitchen nearby, bed and balcony in the back. You took the photo, creepy eyeball man, but you don't have opposable thumbs. Azami says, this looks familiar somehow? Remember where you saw it? It's the photo. Whose shadow at entrance? We can't interact with it yet. Is there anything else I can do with you? No. I think that we interacted with everyone. I don't like the bug at all. Okay, I'm turning off clairvoyance. I don't want to see you. We examined the door. No signs of tampering with the lock. So, okay, so that wasn't it. I hate it here. Anything more new with the blood? No. I do think I'm gonna have to... Oh, look again. Look again. Not seeing any dead bugs lying around. So maybe it wasn't a bug. Maybe these shadows become clearer the longer they were there. Then again, Mio's shadow is only occasionally present. Okay, so we have strange traits now. Unrelated. Oh, I can talk to Jasmine. Jasmine says, this is wild. Red all over the walls and floor. Azami says, it smells horrible in here. And Jasmine says, boss man will be into it though. Jasmine, what do you mean by that? Assuming it's the man under the bed myth, this stuff is blood. And Azami says, so it really is blood. Okay, so about the red room, we can ask, why would he want to throw this blood around the room? Jasmine says, you know, there was that pic posted online. Azami says, yes, this one. And Jasmine says, maybe he did all this just for the post? Yeah, I was thinking it was staged. Azami says, why would anyone do that? I don't know, some people are freaks. The purpose of posting the photo? Yeah, some people are just freaks. All right, whose shadow was it at the entrance? We're thinking things over for a little bit. Azami says, what was the shadow I saw through the glasses at the door? Doesn't this mean a one-eyed monster was there? And Megaria says, Miss Azami, what exactly was your power about? She says, clairvoyance shows me the past, the memory of each location. He says, precisely. It seems that the less you know about what you see, the more abstract they appear, possibly even as monstrosities. Oh, okay. Is this one of those, in the end, at the end of the day, the real horror, the real terror monster thing was mental illness? Is this what's happening? Really? In my house? Well, actually, technically, it's Mio's house. Megaria says, avoid over-focusing on the shadows' shapes and forms. Try to deduce what they are doing from the clues you found. Azami thanks him. And there we go, thanking my imaginary resident director boss. She says, the shadow I saw by the door through the glasses. What exactly is the shadow doing? Maybe the traces show him grabbing. Oh no, taking. I was gonna say grabbing a picture, but taking a picture after the room was splattered. Yeah, I was right. That was an easy one. Maybe the traces show him taking a picture after the room was splattered. Yeah. Azami says, could be. The layout seems similar to that photo posted online. I should try looking at the room from the same spot. All right. So I was trying to do that on my own because I just figured, I'm like, oh yeah, the eyeball man was the thing. Yeah, with the thingy thing. And that was the photo. It's where they took the photo from. I can't examine anymore. We got to go clairvoyance. Hi, Mr. Eyeball. If we look again then, Azami says, yeah, it's the same as the posted photo. This eyeball monster is probably a clairvoyance view of the man taking that photo. Did he want to see or be seen? If he took the photo, what for? So it's I'm curious, why have we not, why can we not trace back the origin of the photo on social media? Oh, that's all our clues. Hey, we might be able to finish this in under 2 hours. Jasmine says, getting anywhere? We really need to finish this soon though, because my allergies, we've recorded for too long where my allergies are starting to fight back. But Azami says, I've spent a lot of time examining things, but can't seem to find anything directly related to the man's identity or motive. Jasmine agrees and says, when the search boils down to this point, someone takes their cue. Yeah, Azami asks, their cue? Oh, hello. It's Director Bossman, isn't it? Jasmine says, and there it is. Supervision, hypervision. Go on, pick it up. Azami says, right away. Hello? There's our director! Jasmine says, cut the fluff, Azami. Megaria says, I felt it might be a good time to give you a call. Azami says, ready to report! This case has been identified as a sighting of the man under the bed. The man appeared in Mio's room, which had been carefully locked up, and seemingly attacked Mio, but then splattered the room red, too? Megaria says it seems like the man doesn't intend to directly harm Miss Mio. Strangely passive for a man under the bed. He's not attacking with the axe? Plenty of opportunities, too. Zami just doesn't even let him finish. And he says, oops, my apologies. Of course, the man makes his own decisions. Who am I to comment on his preferences? Zami says, that's not really, that's... Megaria says, also compelling is the unexplained phenomenon he caused. In a locked room with no trace of how he broke in. A wraith or human vapor? No, it likely has a tangible form, so not a wraith or ectoplasm. Zami says, director, I hate to ask, but... Megaria says, yes, we can savor the speculations later. Zami's not having it. He says what's crucial here may be the act of splattering the room in red. I don't think it's some type of ritual, but like, it could be. Azami says, does the man under the bed typically work like that? And Megaria says this urban myth has several variations. This is an American one, by the way. This is one of ours. I'm pretty sure they mentioned in the last one that this was like originated in America. So like, this is one of ours. God bless that you, I'm kidding, by the way. I've been recording for too long, I'm going insane. One of them has the protagonist leaving a friend's place, but heading back to pick up something and finding that friend's room all dark. They pick up their belongings without turning on the lights, so they won't wake their sleeping friend and leave again. When they visit the room the next day, the room is covered in blood with a message reading, lucky you left the lights off. Azami says, a room covered in blood, exactly like Mio's room. And Megaria says another urban myth exists called the Red Room Curse, but it doesn't quite match this case. Hey, so y'all remember Reverse 1999 Haunted Highway event? Was this that the whole time? The Red Room? Megaria, I need you to explain the Red Room Curse. I need you to explain it now. He says, by the way, wasn't there something in Mio-san's red-soaked room that caught your eye? Yeah, the books with there was a note in one of them. I think we should be talking more about that. Azami says, oh, yes, the books from the shelves were scattered around. It seemed that they fell from the shelves before the red mess happened. Megaria says, I see, and so do you, it seems. If the man is still after Mio-san, he will almost certainly manifest again. Azami says, not again. Isn't there anything I can do? And Megaria says, your enthusiasm is most charming. In that case, could you kindly inspect this room again tonight? Ah, fun. Cool. Azami says, say what? I really want to finish this arc today, but I don't know if we're gonna do it. Azami is crying on the phone with the director and says, do I really need to stay here in Mio's room alone in pitch darkness? Anything could jump out. I can't do this. Leaving now. And Megaria says, no, you must stay. Jasmine is currently at Eiko-san's place, so we have little choice here. She's stuck here. Azami says, then I should meet up with her first. I can't do this alone. And Megaria says, I see. I was hoping everything might go back to normal for Mio very soon. And he's just convincing Azami to do the work now. All right. Azami says, you're right. She needs our help right now. Oh, Megaria says, kindly examine the ceiling near the shelves. Azami says, the ceiling near the shelves? Oh, dear God. Oh, I can't even do anything. Azami says, it's way too dark. Need to keep a hand on the walls and furniture. I'd hate to fall and make noise. Huh? What's this? I think I found the light switch. Azami says, director, I'm turning on the lights. And he's gonna say, yeah, no, don't do that because that's the whole point, is to be there in the dark. Megaria says, absolutely not. Azami asks, why not? And he says the conditions for the man under the bed to manifest are uncertain. One of them is the lighting in the room. Azami says, you mean he shows up if the lights are on? Megaria says time of the day is also an important condition. You haven't turned the lights on, have you? Azami says, I was just about to. All right. I'm trying to go as fast as we can because there's also no music playing and it's terrifying. Azami says, can't stand this. I'm too scared. We need to hurry. It also hasn't helped that I started recording this when it was light out and now the sun has gone down and it's like almost pitch black out. And yeah, so now I'm scared. Oh, I'm not even moving anymore. Azami says, this is where I have to look, right? Hey, I feel something. A squarish frame. Megaria says, as I'd thought. You see, just there. Oh! That scared me. Azami says, what was that? What's up with the music? What the heck? Where does it? The frame! The frame! Azami says, the ceiling, it's creaking? And Megaria says, to hide. Yeah, what? He says, hide now. Oh, okay, I'm not moving. I'm not moving the sun. Oh, she just goes into the bed. That's disgusting. What is it? Feet! Oh my god, it has an axe. Wouldn't it know if like you're in there though? That was terrifying. So did you just stand all night under the bed? Asami says, phew, is it gone? Director, what was that? Yikes. Yes, it's Jasmine. Asami says there was this man in Mio's room. Oh, Jasmine says, Aiko's room, it's all red. So it happened there too? It has to be like the creepy doll or something. Covered in red, just like Mio's room. Whoa. Oh, that's weird. Well, I was like, oh, we're gonna leave Mio's room so we can end at Jasmine's place that's not covered in red, so I don't have to start at the room covered in red next time. No, we're going to another room covered in red. That's awesome. Anyways, Asami says, Jasmine, thank you for picking me up. I just had a close call myself, but I'm worried about Mio. How are things over there? Jasmine says, well, those two are safe. I'll take us to Aiko's place so you can take over searching the socials. Know whose account to start with? Asami says, Eiko-san's, right? I can't imagine her keeping silent after having her room splattered red. And Jasmine says, hey, not bad. Let's get started. Not in this video though. That will be for next video. I feel like starting with the social media deep dive next time will actually be a good idea, because then we won't be starting in the blood splattered room. But for now, Jasmine says, I'll keep an ear open, so just zip on through them. Asami says, gotcha, here goes. Need to check on Eiko-san, but I'm also worried about the heat on Mio's end. I should check on both. Not today, though. Okay, well, of course, it's going to start with Mochi something. God. All right, we are going to go back to title for today. That was much longer than I thought. I really wanted to finish this arc today, though, but that unfortunately did not happen. But we spent a lot of time in the game, so that's totally fine by me. We had a lot of fun. This is still a very fun game. Actually, this was one of the first games technically that I added to the backlog list from like giving games like plays or nays and stuff like that, but it was like after the fact, because this was just like one of the most recent ones I could think of when I was like starting that, so I was just like, yeah, I'll put it on there. And also I did receive this game from someone. Don't think it was Shueisha, but it might have been. If I can remember, I'll put it on screen. But there was like a coverage. I think it wasn't even like, I think it was just in general. There was a coverage embargo on this game. That was like April 1st or something. So I was like, oh, I'll play it after that. And so I already had it on my schedule. So there was that. And so, yeah, that's how we got to play Urban Myth Dissolution Center. This was fun. We definitely are going to be finishing it. I'm not really sure when, but it's fun. Definitely a lot more content than I thought. Like I thought by the end of this video, like it would be recording for like an hour and then be done, and that would be it for part 1 or whatever chapter we're on. But no, this is definitely longer than I thought it was going to be, which is fun. That means you have a lot more content to get through. But that is it for this video. If you like this video, make sure to give me a like down below, as well as subscribe for more and hit the little notification bell to be notified when I upload new ones. As always, I hope everyone had or is having a super lovely day and a super spooky day, but like in a good way, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys!